In your current, where you talked on Friday's concert about your 4-album work, Jesse.
Yeah.
And if you could share briefly what that is. But one thing that caught me while I was talking, you talked about the importance in whatever we do to remain childlike. Can you share what you mean by that and how it applies to all of us?
Absolutely, yeah. In my estimation, and in my experience, when I became an adult from being a child, and when I looked around at people becoming adults from being children, there seems to be, it seems to be easy to lose this sort of essence of what it means to be alive. There's no reason to be alive, and adults think there is. They think that the point of being alive is to achieve something, or to gain something, or to arrive at some kind of destination. That's not how life works. You begin your life, and there's no reason, and you end your life, and there's no reason. And so I think that the tragedy is that people think that life is a very serious thing. I don't believe life is particularly serious. It's very important, but it's not serious. And it's a real privilege, but that doesn't make it serious either. And so, it's something I've been thinking about. I'm making this 4-album album. It's like a quadruple album, 45 songs, all to be released over the course of a year. And it's like every single musical genre under the sun. And I've been traveling across the world, seeking out all my favorite musicians in all these strange and unique cultures, from kind of traditional Moroccan music to Portuguese music, to music from Mali, to hip hop and singer-songwriters and folk singers and guitar rock heroes, all sorts of things. I've been chasing these people down, and the album, which is called Jesse, it's a celebration of this ideal of a childlike spirit. Jesse is this kind of childlike spirit that hangs on the whole journey, and I just think it's important to iterate that and to stop thinking that at the other end of this long journey that we're on by being alive, there's something in particular that there is to gain at the end, because it's one of the greatest illusions, in my opinion, of education and industry, is that you begin and there's always something that you need to do that's more than what you are already. Like you need this one thing in your life, or you need to be promoted, you need to climb, you need to be achieving all this stuff. And actually at the top of that ladder is your death, without meaning to be extremely morbid. And I would just say that you should, by all means, climb, by all means, strive, by all means, reach, by all means, inspire. But you have to look around every now and then and think, well, I'm already absolutely enough, and I'm already here, and that's cool. And I'm going to speak whatever language I'm used to speaking, and I can learn, and I can grow, and I can enthuse, and I can, all of that stuff. I can fall in love, and all those things that don't take that striving thing. They take you being in the present moment. And that's okay. And it's okay sometimes to look around and be like, I'm alive. All right, fine, that's cool. Rather than, I'd be alive properly if I just, over there, And so, those were my thoughts. I think that children are the wisest among us, because they don't consume themselves with this feeling, or at least they haven't been made small enough yet to believe that they need to be made bigger. That makes sense.
It's wise for your age, and those are some of the things we try and tell you. Please, it's very wise. And we actually try, even as a college, we still try and instill that. We have this Performance Science Institute where we're training and teaching and researching mindset. And the idea of tying yourself to a purpose instead of an achievement is going to lead to a happier life. And
right, absolutely.
We wish for our students that they learn that earlier, like your age, instead of my age, because you're going to have a happier, less anxiety-filled life. Let's before your last song, I just want to finish where we started, which is Quincy Jones. For the younger people, if you don't know Quincy Jones, you have to look up. This is the most prolific, successful producer, arranger of all time. More Grammys, more Grammy nominations, the most albums sold between Michael Jackson and scores of artists. And at the end of your show on Friday, I got to spend a little time with him, a quiet time, and we caught up, so thank you for reconnecting us. But also, he just kept saying 24 years old, 24 years old. And he said, if that's the future of music, it's in good hands.
Oh.
And the last thing he said was that you remind him of him.
Really?
Which I don't know if there's a higher compliment.
No, there isn't really. No.
So can you talk about the influence he's had on your life, and how he's available to you in your career?
Yeah, I mean, Quincy. If you don't know Quincy, you've got a lot of homework to do. He's an extraordinary man. He started as a jazzer in the 1940s, 1950s, and played in every big jazz band in the world. He went on to arrange for people like Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald, these great jazz singers. Most of us know Quincy through his work with Michael Jackson in the 80s. He produced Thriller, which is the greatest selling album of all time. And he then went on to kind of be the first person to mangle hip-hop with jazz, which became everything that is now going with people like Kendrick Lamar and people who are putting all these genres together. He was one of the most courageous people kind of ever to have lived. And he came out of the south side of Chicago extremely poor, and he's grown into this extraordinary figure in many fields. And I'm just so lucky to call him a friend. It's one of the incredible things about being a millennial, I suppose, is that if you have an idea that you spend enough time with and you put it there and it has potency, then it will find the people it needs to find. And I made these little videos at home with lots of little Jacobs in boxes and playing different instruments and things like this. And the videos just kind of traveled on their own, and one of them found Quincy. And I've been so lucky to find time over the last 3 or 4 years to spend time with him and just listen to his stories, because he's such a wise person. And he's one of the greatest examples of someone who puts humanity at the center of everything he does. It's all about the human being behind it. He always says, you can never be more or less as a musician than you are as a human being, which I would say translates to anything that we do in the world of business, or in the world of language, in the world of education. You can't put on a mask for too long, because your essence will shine through. And so the sooner we can look at our own essence and embrace it and go, the better everyone's experience is going to be, because people are used to striving for people who aren't real people. And I think that Quincy is one of these people that's put himself on, he wears his own skin very proudly, and he's inspired people to do things that they want to do, not things he wants to do, but things that they want to do. And that's such a cool thing to inspire, rather than say, do what I'm doing because I'm doing it right. Just to say, do what you do what you want to do what you could do, because I did what I could do. I always think he's one of those people that speaks so eloquently about this, and is this kind of living example of, you can go from here to here just by following your, as he says, following your goosebumps. Just thinking, that feels good, and ending up somewhere where you have an enormous business and enormous leverage in the world as a human being, but you're still in your own skin. I mean, there's no higher order than that, in my opinion. So he's like the top cat.